Today I'm answering a question about citizenship test. Sometimes we have clients that have qualified for citizenship. They have met the residency requirement of 4 years out of 6 in Canada, but they get, let's say, a job posting abroad and they choose, after they've applied for citizenship, they choose to travel for a few months or sometimes for 6 months or a year to another country on a work permit, or they go abroad and they study. What happens is that at some point they will get a request for a citizenship test if they are in the age category to undergo the test, and they have to travel back to take the citizenship test. And then after that, once the citizenship test has been passed, you can get called in for an interview, or you can get called in to take the citizenship oath. It's a ceremony which you have to attend if you want to become a citizen. Now, if you don't come to your test, if you can't come to your test, you are allowed to reschedule it. And if you, for example, can't come to your oath ceremony, you can send a request to reschedule it. However, you can't do that many times, and I've seen some cases where if you do exceed a certain number of times, you can get a refusal of your citizenship application or an abandonment of your application. So what I recommend is that if you have applied for citizenship, the idea is that you want to live in Canada, and that's what immigration wants to see. So if you're now living outside and you can't come back, or it's becoming a problem to come back to take the test or to take the oath or to attend an interview, it also doesn't look very good if you have to see an immigration officer. And I've seen some cases where even people that have met the number of days, they've had an interview, and the officer can ask, well, where have you been living in the last 6 months or the last year or the last 2 years? And if the applicant says, well, I've been posted in France on a work permit, or now I'm studying in Singapore, I've seen some officers actually refuse applications even though the residency requirement was met, because they might think that there might have been a lie on the application, and they feel that the person doesn't actually have an intention to really live in Canada and be a Canadian. So I would really recommend that if you've applied for citizenship, you try as much as possible to live in Canada, to establish yourself in Canada, to have your roots in Canada, because Canada is where you've chosen to live, basically permanently. And if you do have to reschedule, I would say to do that only in exceptional circumstances. You also have to make sure when you submit that request, you provide a good explanation. If you just say that you can't make it and you want to reschedule it, on the long run, if there's other problems that happen with your file, that's not going to look very good. But if for some reason, let's say for example, you have a family member that's sick, or there was an emergency situation, you couldn't get on a flight, or whatever the reason it is, make sure you prepare a good explanation, because that's going to stay on your file. And at the end, when your application is going to be processed, an officer is going to have access to all that information. So that's the answer with respect to attending a citizenship test or a citizenship oath ceremony. Make sure you subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe. That way you'll get notifications of all our videos. Thank you.